Why buy a Blackberry? Going the way of the dinosaur, you say. Well, I have an iPhone 4 that I bought, and I used the Blackberry for a long time. I went through about 3 different Blackberries on there. And so there's a few features that forced me to stay with the Blackberry that people have never really used before, and I think that's the only reason they can say they don't like a Blackberry. Once you get used to those few features, you really can't buy anything else. But for some people that are frustrated with how they're notified on iPhone, you might want to switch and actually go back to a Blackberry, even though everyone thinks that's ridiculous. So I'll show you here. You can probably see everything with this GoPro. It's pretty great. One of the main things I noticed is iPhone never has any blinking lights. Now you can change this and adjust this on a Blackberry to only notify you for whatever things you actually want it to do. So if you have this on vibrate and it vibrates and then it stops, you won't be able to notice that you missed something without going over and constantly checking your phone, which is one of the annoying things already about smartphones in general. People are always checking their phones. You can tell from this if you need to or not, and you can just put it to important things and that's it. The notification sender is also a big one for me. When I come here to my Blackberry, I might have 5 different email accounts, and it just shows me on the badge 19 emails. I don't know for what account, I don't know what's going on. On the Blackberry, I can click one button and it actually shows me on my messages the emails that are there. When I go over top of them, I can easily check. And if I want to look at it again, I just say mark unopened and go back, and it stays in the top like a task list. Open this one up. Yes, I want to keep that one for later. Need to take care of that. Mark unopened and go back. And there they are. So I have 2 things I know I need to take care of on there. And it's an easy list to pull up. Oops. This little list pulls up right away. It shows me all my calendar events and my emails. The one thing I noticed with the iPhone is that when I pull this up, none of those 19 badges are in here. None of my emails are in here. My calendars are in here, and some of my apps show up in there, and other options like these fancy scrolling things and weather, if you want to add them on there. But as far as these emails go, I have to go individually into the accounts. Right now I just have 2 of them turned on, because I'm not using this phone anymore. My wife is using it because I can't stand it. But here it shows 19 and they're all in this one. But if you had, I'll send one to BB Marketing. Send that one off. Close email to b.b.marketing. Test. Send. And every time I want to go in and check, I have to go all the way in and then all the way out. There's about 3 clicks to get into your account. Whereas Blackberry, when I'm here, I bring up the open tray there. All my accounts are sitting here separately. Brad Anderson, Brad Finishing Touch, Brad Truerock, Brad BB Marketing, are all right in a row. And they show me if there is an email in each individual one, all in this one. If I go in, this is how quick it is to come out. Everybody likes these touch screens, but they seem to be a lot faster. If you accidentally hit the wrong thing, you're on your way in, like this. So that's why I'm surprised all the baby boomers like them. You go in and you actually hit the wrong one, you gotta go back out, go back in individually each time. The other nice option is in the message center here. It actually keeps all of your messages together. So I can scroll down and I can actually see emails that I've sent. Made sure they went through. They have check marks that they were sent. So this one I sent to myself, and that's what those ones are. Open account, it's important. Mark unopened. Stays in there as unopened. And on the iPhone, if you want to go to sent mail, you actually got to click on sent mail, and then you got to wait for it to check for new mail every time. Even if it's push, this is the one you got to check for new mail, which drives me nuts. Another option that I like is I can actually go into settings on my Blackberry. Yeah, still checking for mail, and I'm hooked up to McDonald's Wi-Fi here. So that's my issue with the mail. The second thing is I can actually set my Blackberry to turn on and off at a certain time. So if I don't want calls after 11 at night and I don't want them before 6 o'clock in the morning, I can actually set the Blackberry to turn off and turn back on, which saves my battery when I'm traveling. I don't have to plug it in. If I'm careful, I could go 2 days with phone calls, and I have a lot of calls. And on the iPhone, you have to let the thing be plugged in and it'll just bling away all night. And if you don't want to hear it all night, you got to put it on silent. And then it's just in a family setting. McDonald's, every kid's playland. You have to put it on silent, and then you have to remember to turn it on in the morning. Or you can, do your vibration instead at night, but then you're hearing your phone vibrate on your nightstand while you're doing that. But in my experience, I have to plug it in, or there's no way it'll make it through there. You'd have to constantly, if you want to turn off anything, you have to go into Apple's ridiculous, not all in the same spot, settings, and you got to go into brightness and turn your brightness down, and then you got to go into Wi-Fi and you got to turn your Wi-Fi off, and then you got to go into general, and then you got to go into network, and then you got to go into cellular data if you needed to turn that off, if you just wanted phone calls, or what was the other one that we would do? That's pretty much it for those there. Or sounds, if you want to put it on silent, you only have those options. You actually got to go into sounds and come back out. Whereas on the Blackberry, at the very top here, one button click. You can turn off your Wi-Fi and your Bluetooth right here. You can just click through those buttons. Those are the two main ones that drain your battery that you got to turn on and off if you don't want it. And even mobile network, you can. If you want to just turn off the data, you got to go in and come back out. But the two main, the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi, simple right there. So for my emails, for being able to turn on and off the phone automatically, and for being able to downgrade how much energy it's using and bring it back up as I please, I pick BlackBerry every time. And the fourth reason, and the main reason right now, is right now I have this in a plastic hard case, little Coca-Cola that I put on there. Normally I have it in a life-proof, waterproof, chuck it, hand it to your kid with his grimy hands, you can play with it, you can watch it, very cool. But of course way bigger, and very hard to touch to the screen, a little bit harder to hear through it, but that's about the best you can do. My dad got one of these a month ago, had it for 1 week, dropped it. Of course the whole thing shatters because it's heavy, made out of glass, and not protected. Why the glass goes all the way to the edge. Not a big fashionista, maybe that's for you fashionistas out there. But this BlackBerry I've had for 2 years. I've dropped it multiple times. It's got scratches and dings, still works. Gets scraped up. I hand it to my 1-year-old son, and he crawls around and bangs against the floor. I can turn on for music for him, and so they do feel a little lighter. This doesn't feel chintzy at all. There has been a couple Blackberries that felt a little chintzier, but this one actually feels pretty good to me. And weight, mostly the batteries do it, so it's not that much different, but the iPhone is definitely heavier. But you can accidentally, drop it off your lap on the floor, and it's not going to shatter into a million pieces. Those are my 4 main reasons for a BlackBerry, because all I'm trying to do is, make calls and receive calls. So for businessmen, that's why everyone picked BlackBerry. If you're still in business and you have an iPhone, you probably drive me nuts, because I send you an email, you don't know you got it, you open it, you don't mark unopened, or if you do mark unopened, you don't remember who it is, and it doesn't automatically go into your task list, and you forget to follow up with me. It drives me nuts. Please, get a BlackBerry. Thanks.